What's up, guys? It's Dynasty of Mountaintops back again, finally. 3-week hiatus, but we are back, and it is draft season, so we are going to be here for the next 3 weeks at least in a row. So you'll get sick of us again. But I'm here with my awesome co-host, Jeremy. How you doing tonight?
Oh, the pleasantries are always appreciated. I thank you. I'm doing fine. Ready to bullcrap some football and ready for the NFL draft next week.
Nice editing there from yourself there. Strong. So we're going to get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. We got a little bit of news. Kind of the last few weeks have been a little bit lesser in the news because we're just getting out of free agency, haven't gotten to the draft yet. We're in that lull period. So we'll talk about a little bit of the news that I've heard or we've heard the last 3 weeks. Rookie wide receivers, which if you are in a draft, rookie draft, which most people are who listen to this, you're going to want to hear this episode because 80% of your draft is going to be these players that we're going to talk about. Picks trade database, which means we're going to talk about the top or the first round picks and what they're getting traded for and if it makes sense to trade in or out of those. And then if we have time, we're going to try a game that we've tried to fit in different points throughout the year, the beginning of the year here. Blind resume. We'll see how that goes as well. So hopefully we can get to that. If not, hopefully we can at least get to the questions we got at the end. So first off, obviously, just some small news, I guess. The Saints are saying they're going to use Etienne and Kamara. I figured Etienne. I'm sorry.
Good catch. Good catch.
Yeah, and A.K. Alvin Kamara. Pretty equally from what it sounds like. I thought they were going to use like Etienne and then Kamara as like a change of pace, third down, great third down kind of player, but we'll see what happens there. Any worry to you with Etienne?
No, I got 2 stocks on him this offseason. I think he is eventually going to be the bell cow. If you tell me that the biggest threat is going to be Alvin Kamara, I'm not concerned. Let's get real here. Kamara hasn't had a successful positive season in about 2 years. Rumors are the wheels have fallen off. I think if they do want to have some type of share, it'll be early and it will be extinguished rather quickly. I like A-Chan a lot this year.
Yeah, I honestly, I 100% agree with you. I thought he was just going to get the ball and run with it. Sorry for the pun. Right off the jump, because I wasn't even expecting. I thought Kamara was going to retire.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't even figure Kamara into this when I was acquiring H.N. Jr. Because I agree with you. I had Kamara being either retired or elsewhere. So I still, like I said, if this was 2018, 2019, I'm terrified with my H-N stocks, but I'm not too concerned with Kamara.
All right, sounds good. Next up, we have Puka Nacua checks into rehab.
Now this one does scare me.
Yeah,
this one scares me. I think it might be because of our affiliation with Antonio Brown, who's seen here in the city. But this one does scare me. Take it away.
Yeah, so I thought this dude was squeaky clean. I was amazed when I heard anything. I know I heard about the comments or whatever, but he apologized for those, thought it was all over. But checking into rehab, hopefully this is going to stop everything because he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. I'm sure anyone that has him is like pumping their heart a little bit faster right now because it, obviously we want to make sure the guy's okay as well, but what we talk about fantasy, like that could kill your season if he's going to be in and out, not himself, if that makes sense. And I believe you have a couple shares of him, so if you want to highlight a little bit more.
No, it just scares me. Like I said, off-field stuff always scares me. If it's involving speeding, if it's involving women, if it's involving baby mamas, if it's involving drug use, gun control, like there's so many different things these players can get involved in the offseason that makes it a little tricky. The fact that Puka has gone into rehab immediately during which they were discussing any type of potential contract extensions tells me that he is willing to learn from his mistakes. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I am not necessarily selling him. I'm going to see what he's like post rehab. I know I'm playing with fire here. That if he does have another slip up, his value plummets. But I'm optimistic and positive that what he's doing is for the better of himself and the better of his career.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like right now would not be a great time to sell him because obviously it's down a little bit, and you're hoping he comes back to his regular status of how he plays in the game. And I don't think that's going to change much. It's just is he going to be available to play? And as long as he is, he should be fine in my eyes. But right now, yeah, I would hold tight. I'd try to actually be getting him if anyone's a little bit worried. That's what I would be looking at. But unfortunately, people in my leagues are pretty happy with him. So I've looked at who it is. So, and then we got Kirk Cousins, former Atlanta quarterback. With the signing of Tua in Atlanta, obviously he wasn't going to stay there. He goes to Las Vegas. I find this to be an absolute perfect move by the Raiders because I've heard that Mendoza is similar to Cousins, but a little bit more athletic. So it would be a really nice person to learn off of the professional style, if that makes sense. I think this is a genius move by the Raiders to give Fernando Mendoza all the chances to be a professional or a successful professional quarterback.
No, I fully agree. I think if there's any opportunity for me to get Mendoza in these future drafts, I'm going to. I think he is being set up better than most rookie quarterbacks. He's coming in where the VP is Tom freaking Brady. He's coming into a rebuild team with a positive aspect and a new coaching scheme and a new GM and new everything like that. He's going to come basically a clean slate. He's getting Kirk Cousins, who, if I had to choose 5 to 7 quarterbacks my franchise quarterback was going to learn from, Kirk Cousins would make the list. He has a squeaky clean record. He is decent in the pocket. He knows ball. So, I mean, I maybe it's my Michigan State partisanship, but nevertheless, I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a great fit. So Mendoza's set, in my opinion. I think he's going to be the onset with the talent and the leadership around him.
Yeah, love this move by the Raiders. They're doing everything right, it seems like, which is really weird. We're not used to that. So then Rashee Rice appears to be free and clear.
Again.
Somehow this dude has a shamrock stuffed up the rear end that he just comes out golden every single time. I thought he was done in the NFL 3 times now. And he just gets away with everything. I have no idea how this happens.
No, full agreement. I was a little concerned with this being a multiple offense, like the end of the league was going to step in, but the league hasn't stepped in at all. I guess the claims of which were presented to them did not have much hold to them because I know that they did some investigation on it. So it must not have had so much validity to it as the outside press was making it, but he is free and clear. He's wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs, and we'll see how this goes and see if he can stay clean.
And you know my Steeler mentality back when Joey Porter or James Harrison or both were just getting fined out the wazoo every other week. Like I'm like, of course, because it's Mahomes' number 1 guy, right? But obviously, I'm kidding. That's not true. We hope. But that's just my mentality, Steeler wise. That we had a lot of fines, and it was a lot less coming out than anything like this. So pretty surprised that he's free and clear, but that's great. Hopefully he can get his head on his shoulders and not continue down this road. Because he's one of the top, 20, 25 wide receivers, maybe even less in the league. Especially with Patrick.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with his quarterback, I'd definitely give him, I don't think he's anything less than top 20, just by having Patrick Mahomes and being wide receiver 1 with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I think he's the talent there, and I'd like to see him in the league and stay in the league. So get your crap together.
Absolutely. And one of my wish lists actually has happened. So the Green Bay Packers have figured out who their wide receivers are, finally. They got rid of Romeo Dobbs. He's in New England now. They got rid of Dontavian Wicks. He is now in Philly. Um, Obviously, number 3 in Philly. But all of this screams to me that he's a little bit better than Jahan Dotson as a 3. Let's be honest there. Let's be honest there. So it's a nice little upgrade for them there, but also it screams to me that AJ Brown's getting traded soon, or something's going to happen with AJ Brown, because I got a feeling they're drafting somebody as well. That's just my mentality thinking that, but. Dontavian Wicks wouldn't be a bad number 2 for Devontae Smith either, which would be a nice 1-2 punch too. But my key takeaway to this is the Green Bay Packers now have their 3, maybe 4 guys, right? Obviously, you have running back, which is escaping me right now. Wow, he's the
Josh
guy
Jacobs.
everyone forgets. Who?
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, see, everyone forgets. Josh Jacobs, he just continually is great. Tucker Kraft, hopefully coming back off the injury, will be fine at tight end. And then you have the 3 wide receivers in Watson, Reed, and the Rook from last year. Golden. Thank you. My brain is gone, apparently, especially from the Green Bay Packers, I guess. It's offseason, right? So it seems like it's going to be a lot more narrow of a tree, which is what we were looking for coming into this offseason. So I'm very happy about that. It looks like the Philadelphia Eagles are upgrading their wide receiving core as well, which is nice to see for their side as well. So anything you had to say about Dontavian Wicks?
No, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it with the AJ Brown stuff. I think that's one of the worst kept secrets on the league. I think this is going to be a post June 1st. I don't know if they wait till the draft to do it. I guess it really depends on what their offer is, but I know a post June 1st trade is a little bit more likely based on salary cap needs. But you're right. If they draft a wide receiver, I think it just screams at the top of their lungs that they're getting rid of AJ Brown. Dontavian Wicks adds speculation to that as well.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Devonta Smith is a Heisman Trophy winner. He has been good. It's just he's with AJ Brown, and they don't throw the ball that much. But also, AJ Brown, this wouldn't be the first time he was traded during the draft. Let's not forget that. Now, the first time it didn't really work out very well for the other team, because Treylon Burks, I still think, is looking for the ball at some point. Is still looking for an opportunity, but he's had a rough go. But I digress. So I love the move for actually both sides. Green Bay, like I said, really figuring out who their guys are going to be, and then Philadelphia expanding their wide receiver room, because there was nothing after Smith and Brown back in there. So nice to see that. So anything else you wanted to talk about news-wise before we get started? We get into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about today, the best part of this rookie draft.
No, man, I'm hungry. Let's get into some meat and potatoes.
I love it. All right, so the rookie wide receivers, we are going to at least tell you about, I think it's 20 players. We're not going to dissect 20 players, but there are 20 players who could be in your drafts in after the NFL draft, whenever you do it. And they're all projected to be inside the 3rd round, in the 3rd round or better, which is insane. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but that's where they're projected. Insane. So we're going to start off right at the top. There are some people say this is number 1. Some people say it's number 3, number 4, whatever. This is the first one I pulled out. So we're going to go with that. Jordan Tyson, Arizona State, outside X receiver, top 10 pick is what they're projecting from what I saw. I heard he could be falling a little bit further than that, but we'll see. 6'2", 203 pounds, 4.5 40-yard dash, comp to Emeka Egbuka. I know you were getting comps out there, so yours is hopefully a little bit better than mine, because I thought the Emeka Egbuka was okay, but I hope it's not the same NFL rookie year that Egbuka had.
Yeah, talk about an up and down year he had. No, the ones I'm seeing is often cited is Amari Cooper. His
Ooh,
fluid route running,
I
his
like that.
body control, his ability to attack leverage, and all levels of the game. So Amari Cooper is one that I kind of like the most out of the ones that I'm seeing compared to. Dude's an elite separator with ball skills. So I mean, I'm not surprised at the hype that he's getting. Um, He's also coached by Heinz Ward, which obviously is a nice feather in our local caps. Um, so there's a nice little thing there. But I think that I am hearing as well the following. I think majority of it is related to his injuries. I know he had a knee injury in 22 or 2022. He broke his collarbone in 24, and he still to this day is having hamstring issues tailing back in the early 2020 or the season of 2025. I know that's why he didn't do the combine. I know he hasn't really partaken in anything in the draft skill sets because of that hamstring. So I'm not surprised in the sense that he is. The rumors are that he is falling. Um, but overall, I think he's a solid player, and I think he's top three wide receiver in this class.
Yeah, I personally, if there's not the injury concerns in 3 out of 4 years, that's a concern, right? Um, so I can 100% understand the injury concerns. If there's no injury concern, I don't think there's any question who the number one wide receiver is in this draft, and it's him. Route running is so good and so important in the NFL. Probably the most important thing that transfers over, in my opinion. And he's probably he's arguably the best route runner in this class. So really excited for that. Hopefully he'll be able to stay healthy. If so, and I really hope that it's not true, but I have a feeling that the Chiefs are going to somehow snatch this guy. But we'll talk about placements later. But if they get this guy with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, just it's Chiefs world again. So hopefully that doesn't happen, just for the fun of football. But if it does, I can 100% understand it. So love Jordan Tyson. Like I said, think he's the best prospect out of the wide receivers. Just the injury is what makes everyone think otherwise, I believe. Which there is a serious injury concern because, like I said, 3 out of 4 years, not good. Next up, we have Mekhi Lemon out of USC. Slot receiver, top 10 pick as well. I'm hearing it's more like 10 to 20, a little bit later. A little bit later on there. I don't know why they're saying top 10 for all these guys, but here's what it is. 5'11", 192 pounds, 4.5, 40 as well. Comp, Jahan Dotson. I just said that was a upgrade Dontavian Wicks from Jahan Dotson, so I hope it is not Jahan Dotson that is the comp. The other one that I'm hearing, and I don't know if you have this one, but he's a Lion.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one that I'm seeing. Yes, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's the one that I'm seeing pretty much all over the place from pretty much any analyst that I can get my hands on. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown as a frequent comparison due to their build, their ability to win short to intermediate areas. It's his technical proficiency. So I like the comp of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've heard the same. Um, his size is a little bit of a concern. I know his hands are smaller, but his size is a little bit of a concern. His hands are south of the 9-inch hands, the sub 9-inch hands. So it's Kenny Pickett type jokes there. But I won't. I'll digress because it's your boy. Um, he's not necessarily super dynamic after the catch either. Like he can get his hands on the ball, but he's not super dynamic with it. But his it's his catching that stands him out amongst the worst. Like his footwork along the sideline is already a pro level. I'm looking forward to seeing him get 2 feet inbounds versus the one in college rules. So we'll see what that does. And he's great at finding soft spots in the zone. So I personally think he is the second best in this class, wide receiver wise. We have not talked about who I think is going to be the best. He's next. Spoiler alert, but nevertheless, I think Malachi. I think Malachi Lemon is definitely the second best in this class, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he lands.
See, I try to not say who I think is the best and who's not because I have a very different number two than anybody else. But I have Mekhi Lemon as my number four. but I love the fact that he wins jump balls even at 5'11", jumps over people, isn't afraid to get up and get it even at that smaller size. I do love that for sure. But like you said before, the non-explosiveness at that size worries me a little bit. So I 100% understand that. Next up, who most people have at number one, and it sounds like, Jeremy, you are the same. Cornell Tate out of Ohio State. Shocking, Ohio State wide receivers in the top three at least every single year. Outside X receiver, mid to first round pick. I'm hearing top 10, so I feel like him and Tyson may have switched. 6'2", 192 pounds, 4.53 40. So all three of these guys at 4.5, and they're the top three. I'm kind of interested in that as well. The comp I got was Jackson Smith-Njigba. However, this dude just came over one of the best wide receiver seasons I've seen in a while. So I'm not comfortable saying that. So I saw a little bit more of coming out of college, Jack Besh and Xavier Hutchinson, coming out of college. Obviously not what they're doing in the NFL, which is absolutely nothing. But if Jackson Smith-Njigba is the ceiling, she'll be pretty good.
Full agreement. I also came across some JSN comps, and I also came across Devontae Adams, which I liked because I like to compare these guys to a little bit more vets. And I liked the comp that I was reading on Devontae Adams due to his elite route running, his footwork, and they're able to, in his ability to handle massive target volume for not being necessarily one of those burners. He's been defined as a security blanket in a very crowded Buckeyes offense. So I think he's the most pro ready, especially with his route running in his hands. I think he's the most technical in all the wideouts. And he's reliable. I mean, he had 66 targets last season and not a single drop. He thrives in traffic. And then his size, like he's a large catch radius. I think I was reading he has a 78-inch wingspan and 10.25-inch hands. So that, like, if he's at 10.25-inch hands and we're looking at Lemon with under 9, if you're going by hand size, and it's something that these individuals do look into, he has the frame, the wingspan, the hands, the footwork, everything. I just feel that he is the most pro ready out of this class. I think he's the most versatile out of this class, and another one who I am desperately hoping does not go to the Cleveland Browns, because that is the number one I have continuously heard of mock drafts is the Browns take him at 6, and that would make me sick.
So me personally, I think the Giants, this would be the perfect fit.
I would love the Giants. I would love the Giants.
That's what I think, because I don't think they're going to have a chance to make the bad pick of Love. So that's where I think they're going to go. But we'll see. I'm not a draft expert at all, just from what I hear back and forth. And what they need is a wide receiver, so it makes sense to me. But for me, the big play, and I apologize if you said this already, the big play, 5 40-plus yard touchdowns. I'll take that on my fantasy team every day, all day. Sounds good to me. I kind of said this before, the 4.5 speed is just, it's not bad. It's just not what I expect these top 3 guys to be, if that makes sense. But they're good at route running, and that's really the key of how they get open. So we'll see what happens. I have Cornell Tate at number 3 on my board, personally. As of right now, obviously, until the draft comes through, we'll see what happens. This is my number 2 guy. This is the guy I've been touting all year. Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M, slot receiver, sort of. Late first-round pick is what they're projecting. 6 foot, 196 pounds. I was shocked when they said 6 foot. I thought he was shorter than Mekhi Lemon. 4.46 40, so a little bit faster. Comp was Lad McConkey. Very excited about that, and I can kind of understand it. But if you want to go ahead with your comp, and then I'll come back at the end there for you to tout this guy up a little bit.
The best comp I found was his ability is Michael Pittman. He's yards after catch ability, his slot ability, his ability to have major touches on screens and sweeps, his high IQ route running, and he has that ability to create separation in a phone booth, is what they like to say, where it's like that small small toss up ball, and he's able to still get himself separated and be able to make the play. So, big fan of this guy. I'm hoping that he goes to the Steelers. I know I saw some mock. Yeah, I see you celebrating. I know there were some mock drafts that he could fall to Pittsburgh, and that would be a huge get for them. Yeah, I like him a lot, and think he'll do well.
So this is the guy that I was shocked he had 4.4 speed, right? I thought he was going to be at like the 4.3s, to be honest with you, the way I see him on tape. But he's just so like fast, not explosive. That's what I was trying to say. Explosive off the break, things like that. So over half of his 2025 receiving yards came after the catch. You want to talk about yak? That is yak, bro. Now, obviously, I have been a fan of this guy pretty much the whole year. I saw him, I think, against Notre Dame in the second game, and I was like, that's my guy. Didn't really care what anyone else said. And then I started hearing everybody else kind of talking about him in the second tier by himself right under the first three. And I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy about liking this guy too much. Also a returner. I think it makes so much sense. Now, fantasy-wise, it would absolutely suck if he ends up in the Steelers. But I'm going to put my hometown hat on for a second. This is the perfect spot for this guy, for the Steelers. He could be an outside receiver with the big slot and Pittman or vice versa. You can mix these guys up. It'd be so much fun. And McCarthy would have a field day. But I digress. That's my little soapbox for the Steelers. I would love to see them draft him. But the key to this is he won I forget the name of it, but the all-around award. Basically, the can do everything award. I forget what the name of it is, and I apologize. Did you have it?
Yeah, Paul Hornrug.
That's it.
The Paul Hornrug Award winner.
Yeah, and he really can do pretty much everything. He had a little bit of issues with drops, which you're going to have that in some of these players. But when he got the ball in his hands, it was so much fun to watch. And that's what I was looking for. So he does have a smaller catch radius. Like I said, I was shocked that it said he was 6 foot. I was shocked when it came in that he was 6 foot. But I was pretty happy that he did, because it took away those short must-be slot comparisons out of the door. So moving on, we are in that was kind of like tier 1, and then tier 2 for most people is basically him by himself at this point. And then Chris Brazzell, who I was surprised was number 5 on this list. But he's Chris Brazzell, the second out of Tennessee, outside X receiver, late first-round pick, 6'4", 198 pounds, 4'3", 740, and a comparison to Brian Thomas Jr. Before you go on, this is the guy that makes sense to be the number 1 overall, okay? 6'4", 4'3". That just makes sense to me. Go ahead.
No, he seems like he's going to be one that falls, and he's going to be a steal, whoever gets him, for that and for those reasons. Well, it's not a flashy name. It's not a flashy team, but like Tennessee. I mean, he played ball in Tennessee, but it's not the Ohio States. It's not the, it's so I think he's going to fall some, not by his fault, but by just the aspect of it, and I don't understand how. He's, like you said, he's 6'4", 4'3". I found comparisons to Christian Watson. They're both 6'4". They both got long strides, effortless ground coverage. Also MVS, Marcus Valdez Scantling, just because of their vertical specialists aspect and the go routes that he can do. And again, 6'4", it's going to be hard to cover him.
This guy can catch better than MVS.
He's that elite length speed combo. Like you mentioned, a 4.3 on a 40-yard dash. He's an 80-inch wingspan, which is stupid. I know he had some drops in 2024, but he drastically improved his concentration toward that, and it was only at a 3.2% drop rate compared to a 6.4 from 2024. So he cut that literally in half. So that's something great to have.
Yeah, and honestly, if he played for a different team, I think people would think a little bit better of him. But Tennessee scares the crap out of people when they hear wide receiver because all the Tennessee wide receivers the last few years have absolutely stunk. So there's a little bit of helmet scouting going on there too. Let's not let's not shy away from that at least. But the one thing that worries me a little bit is the lateral agility. So after the catch, he's not going to be he's not able to like shake a guy, if that makes sense, or cut side to side. He's a straight down the field runner, is what it seems like. So after the catch might be a little bit of an issue for him, but if he's going over the top to catch the ball anyway, he's not going to be cutting too much. So yeah, I have him after the first two tiers. He's my first guy after that. So I was surprised he was number 5 on this list. But also you can understand it with the size and speed combo there. So Denzel Boston out of Washington, outside X wide receiver, late first round pick, 6'4", 212, 4.640. And comp was Tedderota McMillan. If anyone listened to us last year, you know how excited I was about Tet coming out of college. So you would think that I'd be excited about Boston. I am, but I don't think he's Tet. So what was the comp you had?
I had Mike Evans. And the only one I was toying with was Cortland Sutton. So I'm going to roll with both of them there.
Man, those are good names.
He is elite. Yeah, he's elite body control for tracking those deep balls despite not having top end speed, like you mentioned in the 4.640. He's not going to run past guys or anything like that, but he still has that ability to have separation and do well there. And then his play style and his natural advantage over smaller defensive backs like Mike Evans, being 6'4", it's obviously going to help him out. The same things could be said about him as we did Brazel because of that size. It's hard to cover a 6'4" wide receiver, and if you have hands, which Boston definitely does, look out, man. He could also be another one that falls some or doesn't get the top 10 type hype, but can do some damage.
Yeah, this is the guy that looks like the X receiver that you've been looking for. All these other guys are under 200 pounds and might get pushed off the line a little bit. This dude's going to bruise some people, which is nice to see. So the biggest thing for me, positive-wise, was gets up the speed quick. Now he's not super fast. That 4.6 was pretty kind of slower, but gets up to speed quick, which means those first few steps are going to be able to get him separation to be able to then go up, get the ball, if that makes sense. So also really good with the back shoulder. But like I said before, he won't run past anybody with that speed. So he has to get that explosiveness off the line, if that makes sense. So and then last one that we're going to dissect. We still got a lot of names to talk about, but we're dissecting these top 7 here. Omar Cooper Jr. from the national champion Indiana Hoosiers, multi-role receiver, early second round pick. I'm hearing first round pick, but we'll see. 6 foot, 199 pounds, 4.4240. Comp to Chris Olave. Love it. I love that comp, actually. What did you see?
I went with the comp of Chris Godwin. Makes sense. I like the Chris Olave. I went with Godwin. Balanced profile. He's able to play outside in the slot. He's able to be downfield and be efficient downfield as well. So I like the comparison of Chris Godwin. Dude is a red zone threat. He tied for 3rd in college football with 13 receiving touchdowns in 2025, showing great body control. So that to me screams first round. I agree that I'm hearing second round, but I do think that he falls up into the first round. Wouldn't it be fun if Vegas gets him in the second?
I've been saying that, right? first pick of this, or whatever Vegas gets the pick in the second round, that would be interesting.
I love the quarterback wide receiver combos, man.
Mhm.
Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Hell, you can even throw Troy Franklin and Bo Nixon there. Like the ones who can get tied back up with their wide receivers from a collegiate level is, I think, it's a chemistry and it's a bond that can't be matched with years of experience. So I would be ecstatic to find out he landed in Vegas. We'll see.
No, I love that idea. Now, he's dangerous with the ball in space. Will absolutely carve you up. However, needs to develop a little bit better route tree. So we'll see what happens there. His routes need to be a little bit more crisp, things like that. So that's everything I've been hearing. Relies on athleticism over craftiness, which when you're as athletic as he is, I can understand it, but in the NFL, you might need to be able to put some moves together to get out wide or get open and be able to get some yak afterwards, like we were talking about before. So just watch for those things. Now we are gonna still be talking about wide receivers in this draft. However, we're gonna go a little bit quicker. These are the projected mid to late second round picks. So I'm just going to kind of say the name and then you tell me what you have for him, okay?
Works for me.
So for Chris Bell out of Louisville, size speed combo with good hands is what I saw. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. He's human pinball is the way that I like to describe him as after the catch. He had 10.1 yards after the catch on slants and crosses during last season. So ball magnet. I like him.
Yep. Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. Route running is incredible.
Yeah, and he's also one of the more short-handed receivers in the class. He only had 4 drops and 232 targets. So, I mean, that's consistency at a high point level. I'll take it.
Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. Small but super athletic.
Yeah, he has a 10. He possesses 10 for 10 change of direction, acceleration, and 9-10 vertical speed. He ran a 4.35 in the second 40-yard dash at the combine. He had an 82nd percentile in speed, so I think he would be a great speedster to be added.
The number one in Clemson, Antonio Williams, route running with athleticism. 2 really good things to have in the NFL.
Oh, my favorite thing is I read about him was, quote, no swag, all substance. He's praised by coaches for his quiet intensity, leadership, and high football IQ. He's a polished prospect who can contribute immediately.
So I'm just going to stop right there. We said route running with athleticism and then no issue. Sounds like it fits to me. I'm just saying. Coming out of Pitt, I'm just saying. So if he's anything close to that, you're welcome, whoever gets him. Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame, size and catch radius is insane.
Yeah, it is truly insane. And one of the things that doesn't necessarily get talked about is he's a high-level blocker. He's one of the best blocking receivers in college football, and he takes pride in, working on that. And it's a major positive for coaches. If a guy can come in here already prepared and willing and able to block, he's going to get some playing time rather early.
Yeah, and the last one listed in this mid to late second round picks, Elijah Surratt out of Indiana, good hands and size. Before you go, I was surprised that he was this low on the list, to be honest with you, because I thought he was up where Cooper was originally, and he's kind of kept falling down. I don't know what happened. So what do you got for him?
Yeah, he another red zone hog. He had 15 touchdowns in 2025, and he probably has my favorite nickname in this draft class. He is Waffle House because he's always open.
Which is a good thing to have in the NFL. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then these guys I'm literally just going to run through them real quick. These are players that I have heard, and they are still going to be supposedly day 2. I find it hard to believe we're going to have 20 wide receivers drafted in the first 2 days, but we'll see. Scotty Bell out of UConn, super athlete with hands. Ted Hurst out of Georgia State, size and speed combo. If he was in a major conference, he would have been up probably in the mid-second or even early second round pick. Deion Burks, Oklahoma, small but super athlete. Bryce Lance, Trey Lance's brother, actually, who was third overall pick a few years ago from the San Francisco 49ers, who didn't necessarily work out. Out of North Dakota State, size and speed combo is great there. Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State, speed for days. Jacoby Lane out of USC, the other USC wide receiver, size with hands, and Dijon, Stribling, not the easiest name to say, so I apologize. Ole Miss, speed with hands. He's the one who was the number one for Chambliss. He was the number one for Chambliss there, who went to the semifinals of the national championship. So, anything you wanted to say about any of these guys? I've heard a lot of good things about Hurst, for sure.
No, you stole that. Hurst is probably the one that I would not be the least surprised to fill out of this class and went a little earlier. But other than that, I think you've classified these guys rather well.
Perfect. All right, so we talked about the most important position in this draft class, in my opinion, because it's super, super deep. All of these guys will be drafted in your fantasy drafts, rookie fantasy drafts this year, I believe. So what we're going to talk about now is how to get into the first round, which is the most important player, the biggest chance of getting the player that's going to matter for your team. So we're going to talk about, I expanded it a little bit. So we're going to talk about the projected pick, like who it's supposedly going to be, what KTC says, and then go through and see what these trades look like. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me, man.
All right. Let me first start with the 101, which everybody knows already is going to be projected as Jeremiah Love in almost every single draft that you can go to. Even Superflex, I've heard that he's going to be the number one. So we shall see that for sure, but that's what it sounds like. And we have him at KTC, on KTC. This is all on Keep Trade Cut. He's ranked number 16 overall, running back number 3 already in Dynasty. That's between that. Yeah, I know, right? That's between Lamar Jackson and above Ashton Genty. So pretty crazy there. All right, so we got 2026 101 for 227 firsts and the 109 this year for Jeremiah Love, basically. Now, we obviously don't know where that 2027 firsts are.
Yeah, but the class is so much more superior, and you still get the 109. If I am in absolute need of a running back, I'm laughing at this trade. But if I don't need a running back, I might take this. You're tripling your first, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I am not in a desperate situation of a running back, I think I'm taking this trade and looking into it for next year.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that someone would have accepted this trade. Now, this is a 1 QB, 12 team, start 7, 4-point pass touchdown, 1 point PPR. So start 7, that's really small, so you do need hammers. So maybe that's the difference there.
This would have been fantastic information before I gave you an answer.
Yep, that's my fault. Again, off season, not on point here. I'm sorry. We're going through practice right now. I guess I don't know, but we'll get better. So this one is Superflex, pretty good tight end premium. 12 team, start 10, 6 pass touchdown, and 1 point PPR. 2026 for 101 for Cam Ward, the 104 and the 109 this year.
I'm keeping Love. Ooh, wait, this is Superflex, right?
This is Superflex.
Then I'm sorry. I'm switching this. I'm taking the quarterback and the picks. The 104 is going to get me an elite wide receiver that we just talked about, because you can assume that 1-1, which we'll go over. 1-1 is Love. 1-2 in most cases. Superflex would probably be Mendoza, but you're going to get a top wide receiver at the 1-4, regardless how the first 3 picks go. And you get Cam Ward. I mean, you get a quarterback on a super flex, and then you still get the 109, which again, faced with the previous trade talks, it's not necessarily a top 5 wide receiver you're going to get, you're going to get a top 7, top 10 prospect.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I would probably, unless I got the 101 from somebody else, I'm not ready for a running back. So if I deserved the 101, I'd probably make this trade. If I got the 101, but I'm close or I was in the middle of the road or in the playoffs, I would 100% take Love to try to build quicker and win the chip because I'm not that far off. But if I need to build, this is a great trade to move out of that number 1 spot because this is kind of like the Bijan Robinson. You ain't ready for him. It's not going to help you. And running back's the first thing to go. So that's the thing that worried me. And then the last one we'll go with is the 101 for 27 first and Zay Flowers.
What's the league format?
I'm sorry. Superflex 12 teams, start 10, 4-point pass touchdown, half-point PPR.
I'm taking Love. I'm not the biggest fan of Baltimore wide receivers as long as Lamar Jackson's the quarterback. I know they have a completely different foundation now with new coach and new everything like that, but Zay Flowers doesn't do enough for me to move off of one of the generational running backs in a draft class. In the 27 first, I like the 27 class, but I'm taking you cannot top a 101. You can tie it, you cannot beat the 101. So if I'm sitting at the 101, I'm taking the 101 over the 27 first and Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I think you take the generational, quote unquote generational running back as well. As much as I think Zay Flowers is much underrated because he had a heck of a year that no one realizes about last year and should have an even better year this year.
Yeah, Likely's gone. So, I mean, that'll
help. And they might find a wide receiver, but who knows in this class if that's going to threaten Zay Flowers or complement him, if that makes sense. So, I still think you have to take Love. If you have the 101, you would have to have a Mafia deal, in my opinion, which is what that one was that I agreed to.
Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I agree. So, in the Superflex, I agree.
Yeah. So we're saying this is Superflex, by the way. For the 102, projected Fernando Mendoza almost across the board in Superflex. Yeah. In non-Superflex or one quarterback. A little bit different, but we're going to go Superflex. KTC says 47 overall, quarterback 15. Right now is the value between Jordan Love and Sam Laporta. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
So this is asinine to me. And I'm just going to – we don't even really have to talk about it too much, but pick 102, which should be Fernando Mendoza, in a Superflex league for Devon Achane.
Damn. I don't think that's as far off as you think it is.
That Devon Achane is the number 5 running back in the league right now, projected.
I think he has a better year. Miami doesn't have anybody.
Yeah, but it has an effect a lot. You could look at it 2 different ways for Achane, and we can talk about that even more in the offseason. But you could look at it 2 different ways. He's the only one there, so everyone's going to be keyed in on him, or he's the only one there, so he's going to get the ball 200 times, 300 times. Kind of like CMC last year, since everyone was right?
Yeah, good comparison.
So you could look at it both ways, and I don't know how it's going to go. I don't. I'm a big Achane fan, so I hope it goes the right way. But we don't know. But for a quarterback 2 rookie that we think is going to be good, but we're not sure, to trade him for a proven top 5 running back in the league, probably, especially since how young he is, it kind of shocked me a little bit. But I appreciate the fact that you said it was closer than I thought it was. So doesn't make me pull my hair out as much.
No, I don't. I don't want to take. I don't want to take the security blanket behind this, but I'm going to take it for this one. It depends on who your quarterbacks are. Mm-hmm. I think you worded it 5 minutes ago so perfectly. If I earned that 1-2, I'm taking Mendoza because if I earned that 1-2, then I need a quarterback. If I fell into that 1-2 or the quarterback is the only thing strong in my thing, Yes, smash accept on the Achane trade.
Mhm.
But I do like Mendoza. I mentioned it earlier in the pod. I think he's literally having a table set for him with everything in between. But we are going to have Kirk Cousins there. Is Mendoza playing week one? I don't know. Am I looking at Achane as the bell cow playmaker for the Miami Dolphins versus a quarterback who might not play week one?
Mhm.
You bring up a good point.
Yeah. And then we got two more that we're going to discuss real quick. Mason Taylor and the 102 for Colston Loveland. I like this trade
I like
personally
this trade too.
for Colston Loveland side.
I like this trade on
super.
the Mason Taylor and the 1-2.
Oh, okay. So give me 1 second. Superflex, tight end premium, 12 team, start 11, 6-point pass touchdown, and 1-point PPR. So that changes a little bit, 6-point pass touchdown. But I still think Colston Loveland is going to be top 3, 4 tight end for quite a while. Upgrading. I know you love Mason Taylor, so that's a little bit rough.
I like Mason Taylor, and I want to see what happens with Loveland. Like there's like everyone's saying that it's this person's year. It's Roma Dunze's year. DJ Moore's gone. It's Luther Burns time. DJ Moore's gone. Oh, it's Colston Loveland time. There's only one football, folks. Let's see how Ben Johnson transpires this. Ben Johnson drafted Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta was good, but Sam Laporta was not or ever the focal point of Detroit's offense. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown and the running backs. That's who I want in the Chicagoland. I don't know if I want Loveland. Mason Taylor is literally wide receiver 2 until they draft somebody. He's wide receiver 2. He had a concussion at the end of the year, so his numbers don't reflect that, but he's going to be wide receiver 2 if they don't draft a wide receiver. And you're getting Mendoza, as I said. So I think, am I taking Taylor over Loveland straight? No. But am I needing to be a little bit more patient on the Loveland bandwagon? Yes. I think I like the opportunity for Taylor to get more volume, especially under Geno Smith, who loves his tight ends. And I'm getting the 1-2 in Mendoza. So I think I take the trade of I think I take the Mason Taylor side. Nothing against Loveland. I just need to see more.
No, I get it 100%. And then the last one, we're just going to say yes or no. Superflex, tight end, small tight end premium, 12 team, start 11, 6-point pass touchdown, 1-point PPR. 102 for George Pickens and Jalen Warren.
Oh,
you like that one.
Yeah, I do like that one. I'm taking the 1-2.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I'm taking the 1-2. I know you said yes or no, but this is fun. So I'm taking the 1-2. I'm taking Mendoza. Pickens, we don't know if he's playing a single snap next season. And Warren just got nuked by
Rico.
Thank you, Rico Dow. I even got him in a fantasy league. I was truly like, we are rusty, sir.
I told you.
Yeah. So I think I'm taking the 1-2 here. Again, I'm really liking the opportunity that is being portrayed in front of Mendoza. I think they're doing everything right, and I think I want a piece of that.
Perfect. And then we're going to go to the 104. This is the middle of the next tier. It's kind of like 101 is the first tier, 102 is the second tier by himself, 103 to 105 is the next tier, and that's that top 3 wide receivers we were talking about. Mm-hmm. This is how what we've heard, everyone is projecting. So we're going to go right in the middle of that one. It's going to be Cornell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, or Jordan Tyson. Tate is 57 overall, wide receiver 18. Lemon is 61 overall, wide receiver 19. And Tyson is 78 overall, wide receiver 27. I have 26 Superflex 14 team. Wow. Superflex 14 team, start 9, 6-point pass touchdown, 1-point PPR. The touchdown really doesn't matter. 104 for Bucky Irving and then 110.
I think I'm going to take Bucky Irving in the 110. I get myself a decent running back, and I can get myself a decent wide receiver at the 110. I'm not getting the caliber of those 3 that you mentioned, but we talked about 20 wide receivers today, and I'd be okay getting one of them and Bucky over Lemon or Tate.
Okay. No, I can understand that 100%. I would probably stick with the 104. but I understand the reasoning that you have. And then this one is a no-brainer to me. Superflex 12 team, start 8, 6-point pass touchdown, and 1-point PPR. 27 second and 26 104 for the 103.
No. I want
just no.
No, I'm trying to be short here. I want the 104. I think depending on landing spot, we'll take landing spot out of this because I'm a big advocate for that. Let's take landing spot out of this. I understand that. Yeah. Landing spot out of this. I think the top 3 wide receivers are so similar that if I can get something on top of it, even be it a second round pick in a high D class, I'm taking the 104. I'm moving back a spot and grabbing another wide receiver that falls to me.
We don't have to talk more about it. We 100% agree. That is exactly why I wanted to bring it up. This is the exact same tier. Don't care which one I get.
Right.
I get an extra second round pick. Sure. Take my 103.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
But I would not give the 104 in the second, by the way. I would never do that other side.
No. And that's probably why I was as definitive a no as possible.
Yeah, right.
It was obvious which side, yes.
107, we have projected Kenyon Sadiq, the freak tight end. Casey Concepcion, my guy. Omar Cooper and Denzel Boston.
This is the elite crew, man. I am a massive Sadiq fan.
Yeah.
And this
is where they're projected. Now, some people might be taking Sadiq in the top 5. I don't know. But this is where this score projected.
This is a solid projection. This is these 4 guys here. Hit me.
So Sadiq was actually projected higher. I just heard that the 3 wide receivers were kind of in their separate tiers, so I kept them there. Sadiq, 55 overall, tight end 9. Concepcion, 102 overall, wide receiver 32. Cooper, 121, wide receiver 41. In Boston, 138, wide receiver 49. To give you an idea, the wide receiver 49 is like Jaden Reed, Xavier Worthy, to kind of see where we're at there, if that makes sense. So,
yes.
All right, so 107 for Daniel Jones and 205. This is 1 quarterback, 10 team, start 9, 6-point pass, half-point PPR.
I'm taking the 107. I need to see what happens with Daniel Jones post Achilles, and the 205 is too big of a drop for me.
Once I said 1 quarterback, this was not a question mark.
Yeah, it's not a question.
107.
Yeah, I think even as Superflex.
I was going to ask you if this was Superflex. What do you think?
I think it's a harder decision, but I still think I take the 107.
Okay.
I think it's too much of a drop to the 2.5. And again, if Daniel Jones finished the season, we're talking different here. But he didn't. He had a massive injury. Let's see how he is.
Absolutely. And then the other one we're going to do is 107 for Jared Goff straight up. This is Superflex, 12 team, start 9, 4-point pass touchdown, and 1-point PPR.
All right, I took the blanket one on the 1.4. I'm going to take the blanket now on the 1.7. This is all solely depending on what I need for my draft class. If I need a quarterback, or I have an aging quarterback, or I don't have a good depth at quarterback, I think Jared Goff is underrated. I think he has elite weapons. I think he's doing just fine without Ben Johnson. I think he was quarterback 8 or 9 last year. So I think he's doing okay. If I need a quarterback, I'm taking Jared Goff. He's 31 years young. We're looking at Stafford and Aaron Rodgers playing for an additional 10 years after 31. So, I mean, it's not necessarily the end-all, be-all at his age group. These quarterbacks' longevity are skyrocketing. If I need a quarterback, I'm taking Goff because I like Goff. If I don't need a quarterback, I don't like Goff that much.
Right. I can understand both that side of it. If you need a quarterback, Goff is a great option. I love 3 out of 4 of the guys in this tier.
Me
and I'm
too.
guaranteed to get one of them at 107. I probably keep the 107. I like the 107 better than like the 104, to be honest with you, because it's later in the draft and I don't have to buy as much. And I think the players are pretty close to what that other tier is. That's just my personal opinion. From what everyone else is saying, there's a big gap, but for me, I don't see it. So I love the 107 where we're at there. This is an interesting one, and this is the last one we'll do for the 107. Superflex, 12 team, start 9, 6-point pass touchdown, 0 PPR. So this is old school, no points per reception. The 107 for T. Higgins, straight up.
Ooh, I love.
That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I love me some T. I love me some T. But in a no PPR, I think that hurts T. I mean, it hurts anybody really. The wide receivers and the tight end affiliated. Still think I'm taking the 1-7 for what you said earlier. I did. There's just too many potentials in this cluster that I like over a wide receiver 2 who will never be a wide receiver 1 in Cincinnati.
Nope, makes 100% sense. I agree with you there. So now we're going to go to the 110, and this is going to be the last one we kind of talk about. This is the 110 group. This is kind of getting into the twos as well, the beginning of the twos. We have Eli Stowers, Jadarian Price. We finally see some running backs coming into this. Ty Simpson, Jonah Coleman, and a couple of the wide receivers as well. I just left them off of here. Stowers is 137 overall, tight end 22. Price 153, running back 34. 31 behind Love, just going to say. And he's the number 2 running back. Simpson at 164, quarterback 29. And then Coleman, 193, running back 41. To give you an idea, Coleman is between Woody Marks and Jacoby Brissett. So, interesting one to move up. Bucky Irving in the 110. We might have talked about this one. Did we talk about Bucky Irving in the 110 for the 104?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. All right, here we go. 110, one quarterback, 10 team, start 9, 4-point pass touchdown, and 1-point PPR. The 110 for second round in 28 in Jordan Mason.
I think I'm going to go with the 110, but it's super tough. I have better potential with the 110 to do something with it. I like Jordan Mason this year. I don't think the Vikings draft a running back. If they do, they draft one later. And with this running back class, it is what it is. I think Jordan Mason is, I don't want to say the bell cow, but I think Jordan Mason is going to be the lead carrier in Minnesota. So that's what made my decision tough. But I still think I have more opportunity and more flexibility with the 110, with some of the names that you dropped at various positions. It gives me a little bit more options to 110 to do whatever I want to do with it.
Yeah, I think you stay in the first round if you can. That's what I think. You're going to have the pick of the litter after the first 9 that everyone believes is going to go. This is like the dead zone spot is how I look at it. Like, this is the first player that got good draft capital and good landing spot that no one that is outside those top 9 that we talked about, right? The 5 or 6 receivers, the tight end, and then the number 1 and number 2. So this is going to be like the running back that goes to Seattle. A good example. Yeah. Or if the Chiefs wait and go and get Elijah Surratt in the second round. Those kind of things. I don't even know if the Chiefs have a second round pick. I was just saying a good landing spot for a wide receiver in the second round. Like, those kind of things are going to matter to this pick. So until then, I'm pulling myself away from the 110 most of the time. But with this draft or with this opportunity, I don't think it's enough to get out of that 110. Interesting one that I saw was the 110 for 204, 207, and 212. So giving yourself some ammo in the second round to just take fire shots.
I think I take it. I don't think it matters. I think I take it. Okay. I like the ability to have opportunity. I think you're taking a shot in the dark with those 3 picks, but that's 3 shots. I think you're taking a shot in a very dim room with the 110.
That's exactly what I think.
Yeah. So I think I'm taking the 3 picks. I don't necessarily care about the format. I think I'm taking the 3 picks and rolling with it.
Yeah. After, like I said before, after those first 9, I want as many shots as I can get.
Yeah.
Because the 110 and the 207 even, I don't see much of a difference right now. Now, again, if someone ends up having an insane landing spot, that changes things and they jump into that 10 spot, 11 spot, whatever, but which is going to happen. But right now, they're valued, in my opinion, very similar because there is a jumbled mess after those first 9. You got a couple quarterbacks in there. You got a couple or 1 or 2 tight ends in there. You got 18 wide receivers, it feels like, in there. A couple running backs as well. That who knows? It just depends on landing spot. Like, it is a jumbled mess. So, without knowing landing spot, the 110 is very appealing to trade. And I think you can get a little bit more than you'd expect because people are expecting that 110 to matter, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I like the extra ammunition. 110 for Tyler Algier, and this is the last one we're going to do. 12 teams, start 10, 4-point pass touchdown, doesn't matter. 1 point PPR.
I'm doing this post-draft. Let's make that very clear because until the 1-3 goes and Jeremiah Love is not picked in Arizona, I'm not confident that Arizona doesn't take him. I still think it's too early. I'm not saying Arizona takes him, but if I'm trading the 110 for a running back at the Arizona Cardinals, I want to make sure he is the bell cow. I think I'm a huge Tyler Algier fan. I got 2 shocks of him. As soon as he got traded to Arizona, I started sniffing him because I think he is a diamond in the rough. I don't think he's the best running back in the league, but I think he is completely undervalued and undermanaged after being behind Bijan Robinson. I think he's going to be able to have a decent year, especially if he is the running back 1. No knock on James Conner. But
I was just about to say.
Let's no knock on James Conner. But if looking at the 2, I think Algier is going to be able to have himself a decent year.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, with James Conner there and Trey Benson, who they did have a 2nd-round pick for that still hasn't really gotten on the field, so we don't know too much about him. That 3-headed committee scares me. I would probably just stay with the 110. Post-draft, I agree. Like, after training camp, like this is a trade I would make later on. Obviously, you're not able to do that because it is a draft pick. But whoever that draft pick was, I would be interested to see if they would be interested to talk about it later on to kind of see what actually is happening with Tyler Algier, because I don't know if he's just going to be the short yardage guy. We don't know anything of what's going on with the Cardinals right now because they have 3 backs who one is super proven. One played really well his rookie year, but then they went out and got a literal generational running back. An actual generational running back, not using that loosely. And they also spent a 2nd-round pick on a guy 2 years ago, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. Like, so what do they? Obviously, they don't think he's much anymore because he can't get on the field. But I don't like that backfield whatsoever. So I try to stay away from it as much as I can. All right, so this was fun. I love doing stuff like this. And of course, we talked way too much about these because we wanted to give a little bit more of a dissection of what our brain was thinking in the trades. And talked about the wide receivers a whole lot because this wide receiver class, it might not give you the Malik Neighbors or the Amon-Ra St. Brown or the Justin Jeffersons or the Chase or anything like that. But it is going to give you a lot of chances at a wide receiver 2. Or wide receiver 3, which you need in fantasy still. Definitely flex options in there as well. So a lot of wide receiver potential, and that's why we wanted to talk about them so much. Do you think we have time to talk real quick about the questions that I had for you?
Yeah, I think we have time to do the questions. I don't know if we have time to do the blind resume, but
yeah,
I think we could do the blind resume next week. I don't know what you have planned for next week. I know this is probably all
we're actually doing next week. I can say this now. We're going to do a me and you mock rookie draft.
Okay.
Previous to the NFL draft.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do like 2 or 3 of them, and we'll be good.
Yeah. So first up, we got Christian McCaffrey. Is it time to trade, or do you just run him into the ground?
I personally am running him into the ground. I think he is the keystone of that team until I think the Niners are going to run him into the ground. Honestly, so I'm taking the guy with the opportunities. I think until they get themselves established and get themselves uninjured, Christian McCaffrey is going to have year after year of ball share and volume like he's had this past year, and I'm running him into the ground because to me, I'm not gonna. Anybody that wants him is going to immediately throw in the lackluster excuses of an injury-plagued season, which he hasn't been injured in 2.5 years, and he's played more games than some of the top guys. So if I'm having someone coming at me with the excuses of why I should trade him, I'm not listening. I'm going to ride him into the ground.
Okay. If I can find something worth trading him for, because of his age and because of the worries of the injury this year, I'm willing to make that trade. But it would have to be something pretty solid for me.
I agree. I agree, and I just don't think you'll get it.
I agree because of his age.
Age,
and a lot of people think he's going to get hurt this year because after he has this many carries or this many touches, he usually gets hurt the next year. That's happened twice in his career. So people are projecting him to get hurt, kind of like they were projecting Saquon to get hurt. He didn't get hurt, but he didn't have a great year, so it kind of worked out for both sides. So that's what they're kind of projecting for CMC, and that's where I'm kind of at as well. So we'll see what happens, but I think we're kind of on the same page. If you can get a good deal for him, go ahead, but we doubt you'll be able to. Tyler Warren, are you worried about him? Or are you excited?
No. I'm still excited. Rookie year is one thing, and tight ends are the one position that takes the most to develop, the longest to develop. I think a tight end is a fantastic security blanket for any quarterback. We don't know who the quarterback. I think Daniel Jones can be ready for week 1, but Riley Leonard seemed to have favored him a lot, and Daniel Jones even favored him a lot. I'm not worried too much. I like him in that offense, especially now that Michael Pittman's gone. Alec Pierce is a deep field threat. So there's going to be a lot of short balls and slot balls to be caught, and I think Tyler Warren fits in that perfectly.
Yeah, I actually asked this question before Pittman got traded. I'm not going to lie to you, but I figured both of them weren't going to be there. It worried me a little bit that he was really good out the gate, like insanely good out the gate, and kind of backed off throughout the rest of the season, especially when DJ got hurt. So we'll see what happens. It does worry me a little bit. I do have Loveland over him now, which I didn't going into the draft, as you know.
Right.
But I still think he's going to be good. Him and Downs are kind of going to own the middle of the field. So I don't know if they're going to slide him out a little bit because Downs is a middle of the field guy. He doesn't go on the outside very often. So we'll see what happens there. It's going to be interesting how they kind of pair all that up. And then Jamar Chase, is he still wide receiver 1? Or is someone supplanted him? And if so, who and how many?
Can't answer the second half, so he has to be number 1, in my opinion. I think until he is dethroned, he is number 1, and I don't see that happening. As long as Joe Burrow is healthy, and he has Joe Burrow throwing the ball, Jamar Chase, in my opinion, is the best running back, best wide receiver in
it's preseason, or it's off-season, don't worry.
Yeah, the off-season, a 3-week break. We're both rusty. No, I think he's the best wide receiver in this. I think he's the best wide receiver in the league. I might be a little biased, but until he's dethroned, I don't know who can dethrone him. As long as he got Joe Burrow, man, as long as he's on the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, I cannot see anybody dethroning Jamar Chase as wide receiver 1.
All right. I was wondering if you had JSN or Puka up there now, like a lot of people do. I don't.
They're up there. They're up there, but there has to be there's only one, and
you have to do it more than 1 year. Is how I look at it. For JSN, and Puka would probably have passed him. However, the rehab, the off season that he's had so far, worries me a little.
Well put.
So,
well put.
I do. I never really had Jamar Chase at number 1. I always had JJ, Justin Jefferson. I have them like 1A, 1B right now. Because I'm excited for the season that Jefferson's about to have, I think, with Kyler Murray as quarterback. hopefully.
See, that's the thing. I understand JJ McCarthy is not the best quarterback in the league. He's not the best quarterback in the lot. But the reason that I have Jamar over JJ is Jamar has proven to be quarterback proof. He's had Browning, Burrow, Flacco, and that's just the last season. And he was still wide receiver one last season. I think Jamar has proven to be quarterback proof. I need to see JJ McCarthy throw him the ball before I can make any type of determination. But I think Justin Jefferson has shown that the quarterback makes Justin Jefferson a slight bit better, and I don't necessarily think that's the case for Jamar.
Okay, that makes sense. And honestly, I think it's like flipping a coin between.
Jefferson's my two.
It's an LSU receiver. We know that. So that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah.
Two more for you, and these are probably going to be a little bit quicker. Tyler Shuck, is he a franchise guy? Do you believe in him yet?
I believe they're going to give him the keys to be the franchise guy. I don't know if he is the franchise guy. I need to see more. I didn't necessarily sit down and watch too many New Orleans Saints games last year.
You should have. They actually were winning at the end of the year.
When I saw on Red Zone is what I saw Tyler Shuck, and I saw enough that I think they're going to give him the keys to be the franchise guy. I just don't know if he is the franchise guy. I need to see at least one more year. He has the weapons. He has the coaching staff behind him. I mean, he's not necessarily set up at the table like Mendoza's being set up with, but he made do with what he had. He was an underdog in this whole process, and he came out and balled. So,
yeah, I don't necessarily have him as a franchise guy, but he's on the cusp. He only had Olave last year. When you think about it, Juwan Johnson, he's okay.
He's okay.
But Rashid Shaheed was already gone. Basically, by the time he got the starting gig from Spencer Rattler, and he was able to ball. Made Olave very relevant fantasy, by the way. So adding another receiver like everyone expects, and also adding Travis Etienne, however they say his name, Travis E. To the backfield as well, because Kamara is, we believe, a little cooked at this point. I think those two additions are really going to help him elevate next year, or this coming year. So I think he could become a franchise guy, which I'd never thought I'd say, by the way. I was completely wrong. I thought Rattler was going to be the starter and be better than him. I was wrong. Every so often I'm wrong. So, and then the last one, Kyren Williams. Are you worried about Corum yet? Or do you think it's just a lot of the same every single year? Or do you think Corum's going to kind of start to take over a little bit?
I think Corum's going to start to take over a little bit. I think it's already starting to show. Last year, he got the most volume that he's had in his past 2 years. I think Kyren was given that contract, but I don't think Kyren and McVay are hand-in-hand buddies. I know Kyren has had some big fumbles in the past. Kyren's not the greatest out of the backfield in regards to catching the ball. So I'm not saying Kyren's trash. I just think Corum has some opportunities last season, and I think we continue to see them.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I like Corum. I liked him in Michigan. I was a little upset that he went to a spot that he was definitely not going to be the number one. But he's proven himself. He's starting to prove himself. And last year, he definitely proved himself to be a good complement. And this year, I think he might take the reins a little bit. And then Kyren Williams be like a change of pace or something like that. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm worried as well. If I have Kyren, I'm a little bit worried.
Yes,
fantasy-wise,
I'm a little worried with Kyren. Yeah, and I'm a little excited with Blake.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right, just a few questions that I had going through the offseason here that I kind of wanted to see where your head was at there. So that was good. Next week, as I said before, we're going to have a pre-draft Superflex rookie mock draft. I think I said that correctly. A lot of words. And we're just going to go alternate picks. We're going to do 3 rounds. It'll be a good time. Hopefully, it'll help other people as well with the picks that we decide to have. So first round's pretty easy, but after that, it gets kind of fun to figure things out. Did you have anything before we head out?
No, man. I think this was a very successful pod. I think we covered a lot of the information, a lot of ground. And I'm looking forward to next week.
And we've been trying to keep these around an hour. However, this one's going to be a little bit longer. We haven't seen you in 3 weeks. We wanted to give you some more information this week. So for Jeremy, I'm Mickey. This has been Dynasty of the Mountaintops. Check us out on Podbean, YouTube, and Apple. Also our socials at dynastymttops on Blue Sky and X. Email us at dynastymttops@gmail.com. For any comments, show ideas, what did you think? What are your answers to these questions? Where you have the wide receivers rankings? Am I crazy for having KC at number 2? Things like that. So let us know what you think, and we'll see you next week. We're here for 3 weeks in a row because it's draft season, baby. Pre-draft Superflex mock right before the draft happens that week. So super excited to talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, guys.